YouTube, what it is, it's your boy Gedden, and I am back with another Good Morning Drive, episode 79. I had a work from home episode. I had the two screens set up, nice setup, but we can't do that all the time. That was just a work from home special where I was gaming, talking about whatever, and wishing you guys a good morning. So we back in the car. Good morning to everyone out there. Hope you guys have a awesome Monday. I hope you guys had a blessed weekend. I hope you guys stay positive. If everything or a lot of things or whatever is negative around you, I hope you stay positive, see the good in whatever you do, stay productive, and make things keep happening. This high school kid in front of me with a dang bike. In front of me with a bike just lounging around. Dog, this is a two-lane street, guy. Get out of my way. And, he got a cell phone and his bike. He got one hand on a coffee. Dog, why you so young drinking coffee anyway? But hopefully you guys can hear me out there. Yeah, hopefully all the sound is good, and good morning to you guys. It was something I read that was very positive. I forgot it, but it's something to go along with what I always say. When everything is bad around you, just find one good thing in it and build on that. That's how I like to start my days. That's kind of how I live my life. When bad things happen, I always try to find a positive out of it. And if I can't find a positive out of it, I start again the next day. You want to be positive. You want to try to be as positive as you can. So what we're going to talk about, not a whole bunch of content or information out there, but we're going to talk about Shilo and Shedeur Sanders. And then we're going to talk about NBA 2K versus Madden. Even though one is a football game and one is a basketball game, they're both simulations, and it goes to show how both companies treat their IPs, their franchises. All right. So first, let's talk about Shedeur Sanders and Shilo. First, let's talk about Shilo because Shilo is lesser known than Shedeur. To me, Shedeur is the superstar. He is the Sanders that everybody has their eyes on because out of Shilo and Shedeur had the better college career. He made a name for himself. He won awards, or at least the most accurate quarterback in college football history, I think it was. So, yeah, he was doing his thing in college. Everybody knows that he was purposely slid to the 5th round. They tucked his ass. It's like, you know what? We don't want you to be drafted so high, so we're going to make an example out of you. And the reason why, Eric Dickerson came out and said, well, we're going to make, well, he came out and revealed, not a statement, but the actions behind why did Shedeur slide all the way to the 5th round, because really he was 1st round projected, and at the least 2nd round talent, right? So because of the slide, he's in a predicament. But the reason why he did slide is because he was making his own deals. He has no agent, right? He has no agent, so he's making his own deals, making his own money. He didn't say, oh, I don't need the NFL, right? He just wants to play in the NFL. So because of that, the NFL purposely wanted him to slide. And this is alleged, but the writing is on the wall. If you have common sense, you're going to be like, okay, how did a 1st round, second round talent slide all the way to the 5th round, when they say the narrative is, he gave a terrible interview. Somebody said that this was the worst interview during the draft or for the draft that I've ever had in my life. So how is that possible when there's no footage of it? If that was true, the audio would have leaked by now. Also, you would have seen it with reporters. The Browns, the Cleveland sports media love the guy, but they go in there with the intent to not like him, but they end up liking him anyway. So, I don't believe that narrative. I truly do think, in my opinion, right? I'm allowed to have an opinion. In my opinion, that they made him slide purposely. The NFL made a phone call to all the teams. Do not draft Shedeur. We're going to make an example out of him. And it's very possible that he would have went undrafted. That's what Eric Dickerson kind of alluded to, that he was going to go undrafted. They wasn't going to draft him in the league. He was going to be an undrafted free agent, which is ridiculous. There's honestly, I really truly believe there needs to be an investigation. There needs to be an investigation. But that's Shedeur. What complicated things was in Shedeur's first game, he balls out, goes crazy. Mind you, I've been keeping up with Shedeur Sanders, right? Because they made him to be a underdog. I love underdogs, right? I love underdogs. So, Inez, good morning to you, sweetie. Hope you're doing well. Remember, stay positive. Positive things will find you. But yeah, so I follow Shedeur, right? A couple of channels that I watch. And in the Browns camp, he gets no reps with the first team. The first team, no reps. How do you get no reps in the first team, right? During NFL practices, especially if you're drafted, everyone gets a shot with the first team, right? Unless you are so bad, they know you're not going to play the first team ever, right? You're basically a practice squad guy, or you're going to get cut. So it's a rare thing that a draft pick that should have been drafted earlier and slid doesn't get reps with the first team. So he doesn't get reps with the first team. He goes in there playing against the first team defense and almost plays lights out. He played extremely well. He was playing the first team against the first team defense in the first preseason game with second team guys and third team guys, right? So he actually played well, really good, threw 2 touchdowns and no interceptions, no turnovers. But then he's injured after the game, oblique injury. He missed the second game, and then the third preseason game leading up to that, he had no practice, right? He didn't practice with any teams. He's really rehabbing his injury. So when you're rehabbing your injury, you're not playing with any teams. You're looking at film and studying the playbook, of course. That's an ongoing process. But with football, everything is timing. Everything is timing, right? Everything is timing. You need timing with these players. So if you're playing football and you are in game time speed or game situational speed, and you don't know the timing, you're going to have struggles. And it looked like he was hurt. So he had a terrible game. He was laboring on the field. He got sacked about 5 times, didn't make good decisions. He just did not play well. Holding on to the ball for too long, trying to make something happen, throwing the ball to receivers, and they're not catching the ball. Why? Because they're going to be cut anyway, right? They're not going to make the team. So, needless to say, he had a really bad game, but he has a high ceiling. to me, he has the highest ceiling, on the quarterback squad with the Browns than any other player. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. Unfortunately for Shilo gets cut. He got ejected out of the game. The tight end on the Bills, I think it was, literally targeted him. He started the whole fight. The play is over, and the tight end is still like pushing Shilo around, blocking him, grabbed his face mask or had his hands in his face, So Shilo retaliated. Should he have? He should have retaliated, but he shouldn't have thrown the punch, right? That's the problem. That's that right there. What he should have done, he should have smushed him, maybe even tackled him. I don't know. But to throw a punch, that's the big no-no. He should have grabbed his helmet and try to toss him around or grab him up or get in the face, not throw a punch. That was his one mistake. Unfortunately, he wasn't really playing too well. He missed a lot of tackles. He took some poor angles. Shilo didn't show out. Shedeur showed out, right? He had one bad game. He was actually playing really good in the Browns practice too. But Shilo, on the other hand, was not, right? The talent level isn't necessarily there. Maybe he can make the transition to be a linebacker or something like that because he likes to hit anyway, right? And his coverage skills or lack thereof would fit more of a linebacker anyway. So maybe he can make the transition to be a linebacker or something like that. But unfortunately, he got cut from the Bucks, and I'm sure that makes the haters really happy that both Sanders and Shilo had rough outings. Of course, there's going to be haters, major haters. But even if you have haters out there, just know, again, I'm always going to stay with the positivity, find something positive out of it for Shedeur. If I was Shedeur, you could look back at game film, and now you know what things you need to work on when it comes to being a quarterback. For Shilo, you know exactly what not to do now. No matter what happens, you can't throw a punch at someone. You can't necessarily retaliate. You got to look at the refs to get the flag and complain to the refs. At least make your case. Because if you make your case, at least people will be out there who is on your side. They can actually help you make your case. So that's the positive to look at. It's a learning lesson for the both of them. And, obviously I wish them both the best. Even though they're rich kids, they will never have to work a day in their life, but they want to play football. The passion is there, and that should be enough. The passion, and to me, they both have enough talent to be on an NFL team. They do. One has enough talent to start. The other have enough talent to, at the very least, to be a practice team guy. At the very least. But I think he could be second or third string backup for whatever for the safety position. Shilo, I strong safety for sure. He just have to work on his game. He'd be all right. But yeah, so that's just my thoughts. Just what I think. So my opinions and stuff. NBA 2K versus Madden. Dog, it's not even close. It's not even close. The franchises are total opposites. One wants to sell you the NFL Shield, while the other is trying to make a game worthy of the NBA license. And they're trying to sell you on their innovation and their game. So that's the two biggest differences. NBA 2K is not perfect. It has its issues. 2K is a greedy company. Of course, they are. They are a corporation, just like EA. EA is just as greedy. I think they pissed off MUT gamers because they had obscene prices for their MUT cards or their MUT pack or something like that. I didn't read too much into it because I don't really care too much about MUT. But NBA 2K versus Madden. I'm gonna try to break it down. I should make a video about this where it's more concise, but and there's a reason why I'm making talking about this is because I got a video that I'm working on right now that I'll probably drop. Hopefully, I could have it finished tonight and drop it tomorrow. That's why you guys have to, once you subscribe, hit that notification bell and then hit the notification bell on all. Don't leave it to YouTube to just hit that notification bell, because the algorithm, the moment you look at one of my videos, you look at it halfway or just the beginning or whatever the case is, hit your like and leave, or not complete the video, because my channel is the way it is. They are going to not recommend any other videos. So you want to check that notification bell on all, so you can catch all the content that your boy produces, creates. I create all my own content. A lot of these channels, especially the bigger channels, they have their own video editors. They have scripts. You know, your boy is doing everything solo dolo, bringing my channel, I guess my business out the mud, you know, trying to do a little something, you know. But yeah, so that's the reason why I'm making this video or talking about this, is because I got another video coming out that I'm not explaining as much, but you know, we're gonna talk about it. So NBA 2K and the franchise, and how 2K and Visual Concepts treats NBA 2K is wildly different than how Madden treats it. Or EA treats Madden. EA Tiburon treats Madden. EA Tiburon, in my opinion, they develop their game year to year, literally. They don't necessarily take too much from the prior year, but for some animations, maybe feel of the game, maybe, and other elements. They don't necessarily start over, but to me, they work on a template every year instead of building on Madden every single year. RH, good morning to you. Thanks for the loner. Ha, you're funny. Good morning to you anyway, with your crazy comment. That was wild. But anyway, so Madden doesn't, or Tiburon, it just seems to me that Tiburon doesn't build on Madden every year and continuously builds on Madden with features. The core, yeah, they kind of build the core again. You know, they add different types of animations. This year is totally different in terms of the types of animations that they added, because the game is a lot faster now, which is a good thing for Madden. It's a lot faster. It's a bit more fun. A lot better than last year, but still the core of how they make a game is still the idea of a simulation football game. And that's another major difference. Visual Concepts, on the other hand, they build year to year. It doesn't seem like they take a early template and recreate the next year. They do take a template, but it's a more evolved template, I guess. The features that were in the year before is also in the next game and the next game and the next game. It seems as though, to me, they build more on the IP, on the franchise. In 2022 or 23, NBA 2K, they built on Pro Play, an innovation where they actually put cameras in the NBA court, in NBA games, to capture players, so that when they capture players, they can use that capture technology and translate that into animations for the game. With that being said, NBA 2K has been looking more and more realistic and moving better, and actually making steps visually for improvement. Gameplay wise, they had to take a couple of steps back because they completely changed their dribbling engine, and some gamers liking where they were going. All right, RH, peace out, bro. Jesus Christ. Anyway, so yeah, shout out to everybody in the room. I got 8 people in here. Hopefully we get more comments and talk a little bit more before I head into work. I got to go in a little bit earlier than I normally do. But yeah, hopefully we get some chats going. We could chat it up a little bit. But NBA, back to NBA 2K, it just seems as though they keep building on their game. Sometimes in development, you do have to take some steps back before you have to take some steps forward, and we're seeing that with NBA 2K26. Though dribbling is a lot better than 25 and 24. It's way more movement, way more interaction. Good morning, Marquise PC Gaming. Good morning to you, bro. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for coming through. Please hit that like if you can. Everybody, please hit that like if you can. It definitely helps the channel grow. I appreciate you guys for coming through. I know there's channels that I go to on the regular, and I may not hit the like right away. Sometimes I gotta get reminded. So thank you guys for coming through. Please hit that like before you leave the channel. But yeah, so NBA 2K 26, I've seen gameplay. There's gameplay out there, guys. Definitely check out the gameplay. Gameplay looks extremely fluid, looks really good. It seems like they are making vital steps forward, though we do need to have that basketball way more tangible. But unfortunately, for casuals, that will kill the game for them. It'll be only left to the experts to handle the ball. So that's why they make a design choice not to have the ball so tangible. Good morning to everyone out there. Thank you guys for coming through. Thank you for hitting that like button. I had like 2 more likes. So I appreciate you guys. Got 12 people in here now. It sucks. Every time I'm about to end the stream, we got like maybe 5 more minutes. Every time I'm about to end the stream, more people come in. Every time. It never fails. It never fails. But anyway, so NBA 2K, Visual Concepts 2K, they put way more money into NBA 2K. Way more money, way more investment. Madden, half the investment or less than half than what 2K does, right? 2K and Visual Concepts, they have maybe 2,000 or more employees total working on NBA 2K, and it shows, right? Versus EA Tiburon, where they might have 500 to 1,000 employees working on Madden. So how do you get all this stuff done? You know what I'm saying? How do you get all this stuff done if you don't have enough employees? Why? Because EA is literally just trying to sell you the NFL license instead of making a game that deserves the NFL license. There's like no depth in Madden. There's no depth in Madden. The only depth that you actually is 2 levels of depth. You have stick skills when you're the ball runner, left stick skills, and pulling off the right ball carrier moves at the right angle and at the right timing. That's a good area of depth. That's not terrible. That's good. And then the next area of depth is how you run plays and the plays that you pick. That's it. That's all the depth that you need. You don't necessarily need to pick the best teams out there. If you can master those 2 things, you could win with any team. And that's it. There's no single player mode. Franchise mode is booty cheeks as it always is. It's not immersive enough. They added in weekly highlights, which is cool, but it's not detailed. They don't have stats. It's very lackluster. There's no virtual area or virtual studio where the commentator is breaking down. It's not like a real show. It's just commentary and then highlights, and that's it. No stats really. So it's it's lackluster, right? It's a good addition. Glad it's there, but it's not where it's supposed to be in 2026. Gameplay, the physics are wonky at times. The AI is all over the place. The AI could be really smart, then it could be brain dead, but then the core of the AI is they are still slaves to the play art. Whereas NBA 2K, the depth in NBA 2K, the whole franchise, every game that you play with NBA 2K every year is going to be deep. You with $70, right? I hate to say this because I'm always consumer first. I'm always people first. But $70 for NBA 2K is reasonable because my player alone, right, is $70, right? It's a full single player mode, right? Where it actually is dynamic, right? You could get cut. You know what I'm saying? You can not make the pros. You could go to the G League. Now you could go to the Euro League. Ridiculous. You have My Player Online. Just those two modes alone is what games are, what companies are producing, right? That are $70. I don't like the fact that it's $70 and then they kind of make you, if you want to play My Player Online, go into the city and all. I don't like the fact that they damn near force you to buy VC, even though I heard VC is going to be a lot cheaper, or you're going to get way more with your VC nowadays with NBA 2K26. And I thought 25 too. I thought that NBA 2K was much more cheaper. But yeah, so you have that. You also have the franchise mode, which is hella deep, or my GM mode, which is hella deep. And then you have the MUT version of NBA 2K in my team. So you get a lot of game. Then you have eras mode, right? And then if you're playing on PC, you got mods and stuff like that. I played Madden 26 on PC. Something is wrong with the pause menu. There is times I can't go to instant replay stats and I couldn't challenge a play. The game freezes up on me, and there you have it. They have less employees working on Madden than they do with NBA 2K. NBA 2K is damn near 2 or 3 times the game than Madden is. How is Madden making so much money for EA, and EA is not putting that money back into their game? Don't ever say the NFL license is too expensive, because it's not too expensive, because EA could keep on affording it and make record profits as a company. So it's not too expensive. It's not the NFL telling them don't do this. And it's not the NFL telling them, hey, we are the ones who want an exclusive license with EA. We love EA so much that we're forcing them to be exclusive with us, right? No, that's not how it works. EA isn't an exclusive NFL company. You feel me? So EA is paying for the license, not getting paid for the license. So with all that being said, that's complete farce. It's complete BS that that source gave to Mike Straw, saying it's the NFL that wants the exclusive license, then they should be paying EA, right? They should be paying EA, not EA paying them, right? Right? Oh, nobody's going to think about that, or nobody's going to say that, right? Right? Yeah, I know. But anyway, I'm going to leave it on that note. I think that's an ill way to leave it. And I'm going to take my butt into work. Guys, remember, have a great day. Try to have something positive, or see something positive in your day. Stay constructive, stay productive. Make sure you have your goals, and make it happen. All right. You guys have a great day. Have a great and blessed morning. I hope your whole week is amazing. Stay phenomenal, fellas and ladies out there. Yeah. So take care. We out of here. Thank you for coming through.